evening, whichever part of the world you are watching from. I'm greeting. How have you been? Hope you've had a wonderful day. It's night here in Nigeria, so I'm sending my regards to all my Nigerian audience and other audiences that I'm not aware of. Okay, so I'm just here to rant. I'm just here to talk about my day. Oh, my day has been very rough and hectic. Very rough and hectic. Let's wait for others to join. Let's wait for others to join before I tell you the full gist of how my day went. And I would like to read from you. How was your day? Monday, first working day of the week. We all know how hectic Monday can be. But I used to think that Monday is hectic only for people who go out. I was indoors all through today, yet it was hectic. I am going to tell you why. Let's wait for others to join us. Okay, I guess they will join us at their own time. Okay, so like I said, I didn't go out today. First of all, I am a teacher. I teach in a secondary school. Aside being a YouTuber, I'm a teacher. That has always been my full-time job. I reside in Ondo Town in Nigeria. So there was this festival we had today in my town. We call it Odumoko. If you live in Nigeria, or most especially the southwestern part of Nigeria, you must have heard of this. It's a festival that disallows women from going out. I call it barbaric because in this age and time, it's it's appalling that we still have such festival that disturbs women from going about their normal duty. But that's in fact it's so widely recognized in this town to the extent that in your place of work you will be told not to come. Even public institutions, you will be given the day off. Even men, we they will enjoy the holiday with us because most of these organizations have females as largest working their largest working group of people. So since the women are not around, then it means there won't be any reasonable work. Okay, so I woke up this morning with high spirits. I There was this video I ought to have dropped yesterday. Like you know me, I'm a storyteller. I tell stories on YouTube, so I drop 3 stories every week. There was this story I ought to drop yesterday in order to complete the 3 videos I ought to have dropped last week. I had issues with my image generator. The image generator was giving me a lot of trouble. I didn't even know it would be this serious. I just realized that I was trying to describe a fat person, and by experience I know that image generator image generators do not like the term fat being used to describe a person. So I during my research I realized that I can use expressions like plus sized, voluptuous, well-rounded, full-figured woman. Those were the things that Google Bard suggested to me, and I've always used plus-sized to describe a fat woman. Hello, thank you, Ethan, for joining. Thank you, welcome. So I realized that in the past, whenever I use plus-sized, sometimes it generates the images. Most times it doesn't generate it until after I make repeated attempts before it generates it. And when you trust the image generator to actually bring the kind of figure you want, it ends up bringing a slim person. I don't know how this image generator was programmed in a way that, do they think all the women on earth are slim? Because once you type in your prompt, they're always bringing in a slim person. And for the kind of scenario I want to describe, it is not a slim person that I need. So that was what I was battling with since yesterday. That point where I had to describe a plus sized woman, I realized I was having issues. It kept rejecting my prompt. It rejected my prompt over and over again. Later, it told me that something is wrong on our end. By the way, I use Microsoft Generator, and the reason I prefer it, I've tried others in the past. Bing, yes, Copilot. They don't really they don't really generate images in the dimension I want it, which is the horizontal 16 by 4 dimension, which is needed for YouTube. The others that have been used here, we have to fit in the images on Canva after generating them into that horizontal dimension. So that was double work for me. It was later I got to know about Microsoft Designer, and it has been wonderful. In fact, many of my images have been generated using Microsoft Designer, but you have to be patient to work with them, because sometimes you even want to describe a woman of color. They have issues with you describing color. They have issues with you describing race. And by the time you trust them to generate the images you have in your mind, they fall short. They generate an image that is a far cry from what you have in mind. So there was even a time that I decided, okay, I will not be writing stories that describe a person's stature, a person's complexion. I will just describe the character as a woman, a woman with long black braids. When I realized that even the complexion was giving me issues, once you type fair skinned, I don't know if the issue they have is with the word skin. Then later on, I changed it to fair complexion. Still, I still had issues with them. Welcome, Yama. I'm so glad to have you here. So it has been a lot. So since yesterday, I've been battling. Welcome, Andrew. Glad to have you here. So since yesterday, I've been battling with trying to generate the images for that particular scenario. And one thing about me, I love excellence. You know, when your voiceover is telling the audience that this character is a fat woman, and the image they are seeing is that of a thin woman, it doesn't speak well. It does. There was even a time that I decided, okay, whatever shape this image generator brings, let me just manage it. Because of my knack for excellence, I was like, this is contradictory. The voiceover, what I mentioned in the voiceover, is is contrary to the images they are seeing. So that is, for those of you who are audiences um to Africa Folktale channels. Sometimes when you say the images are not consistent, it is not because we don't want it to be consistent. It's a lot. It's a lot. Okay, even sometimes when you describe the color of the cloth that was worn in the previous scene, and you expect that it will bring out the exact cloth that the character wore in the other previous scene, it will bring out another design of clothes. Of course, it might maintain the color if you indicate the color in the prompt, but trust me, it will not be that exact design. So it's not as if to be consistent. It's just what it is. So today, do you know I woke up early, very early, despite the fact that today was a holiday, that I must get through with the production of the video today and post it. I started I started battling with this plus size. When I realized that plus size was not working, I changed dead woman. When I realized it wasn't working, I changed it to woman. In fact, it was so frustrating, when you are stuck at a point. You are stuck at a point, you are not able to go beyond that level. So I just continued because one thing I decide to see something through till the end, I must continue. So I continued. Later, I realized that I was not able to access the program anymore, the app, the website, Microsoft Image Designer website. I realized that for every prompt I dropped, they were telling me something is wrong on our end. Something is wrong on our end. I thought it was my network. So I tried to check other things and see the network was poor generally. Then I realized that my network wasn't poor. It was so I tried to sign out, then I signed in again. It was when I signed in again that I was now told that I have been locked out of my account. I didn't get to know this until after several attempts. So I wasn't told at first. I just realized that they kept telling me something is wrong on our end. I thought it was an internal problem on their part. So I would rest a little and go back to it, rest a little and go back to it until I realized that I had been locked out. Ah, in fact, I felt a lot of turmoil within me because that's like the major image generator that I've been using. And as an Africa folktale storyteller, you cannot really produce any story without generating images. It is impossible. So it rendered me capacitated for the whole day. I tried to use another email account to log in. It still it still captured that because it was still from the same phone, it's still this called. It kept telling me that I have been locked out of my account, even with the new email. And what about their support? I tried contacting, in fact, they don't have an email address. Microsoft Designer does not have an email address that you can send message. What you have are just suggestion boxes that you can type in your issues. I had sent messages to them in the past. In fact, I sent messages to them through those boxes yesterday when I had issues generating the images. I was like, okay, if there are words that you don't want us to type in as our prompt, let us know. Where are your rules and regulations? Let us know so that we won't be wasting our time. If I know that you have an issue with plus size, I won't bother using it. But we don't have your code, we don't have your rules and regulations anywhere. I sent about two messages. I even sent another one. Okay, how do I describe a plus sized woman since you are rejecting it? No response. No response. So I was at a loss over what to do. Well, up till now, the issue is still dragging on. Though when I tried signing in with another email, they said they would send a code to my phone number. So I entered my phone number. And even after I entered the phone number, I was told that that method is no longer working. So I should look for another method to get into my account. And I searched the website. They didn't provide another method for me to get signed in because they've already let me know that I was locked out of their website for violating some of their rules. Though I am yet to know the rules I violated. I am yet to know the rules I violated. So, in fact, it is just what it is. And I would like to hear from you. So I am sure I'm not the only one that sometimes go through this kind of predicament, especially as a YouTuber. If you're a YouTuber, there must have been times you had high hopes of producing a video. In fact, you've done your research, you've prepared yourself mentally and emotionally. Then suddenly one of your equipment isn't cooperating. How did you feel that day? I would like to because I've I felt bad since morning. Oh, in fact, it's almost ruined my day. I felt bad since morning. I will not lie to you. I felt like, it's one thing when you are being deliberately lazy. It's another thing when your body does not want to work, but you are forcing yourself. You are going against the demands of your body, which is the need for pleasure, and you are trying to be serious, but the elements around you are not just cooperating. So sometimes it's one thing to be serious, it's another thing for the elements around you to cooperate. So sometimes things don't just go as well as we plan them. Okay, so sometimes it is not only laziness that will even hinder you. Sometimes you will be willing, you will be disciplined enough to set aside time to do that which you have to do. It will just be some forces beyond your control that will stop you. that this is one of the hiccups that come with being a vision driven person. A vision driven person, and life sometimes it is just what it is, because sometimes on days when all the elements are aligning, or when all the equipment are working and everything is fine, it might be on such days that you won't have the willpower, the drive to work. So to actually succeed is war. To succeed is war. It is not for the weak, because the discouragement, if it is not internal, sometimes it will be external. On some days, the discouragement will be on both sides, both internal and external. But you still have to rise above them. You have to rise above them. You shouldn't give up. So, for my fellow YouTubers, how did you navigate through days that you had your equipment refusing to work with you? And how did you feel? Now, I still plan to continue tomorrow. I hope by tomorrow they will be more lenient with me. That's my hope. I will keep trying. I believe they will be more lenient with me, because for them to now let me know that my account was not, at first they didn't let me know what the problem was, so I was just speculating. It was later this evening that I was told that I have been locked out of my account. So I want to believe that by tomorrow, God would have touched their hearts for them to let me know the step to take. Because the step they told me to take was to send, it was to type in my phone number, and they would send a code to my phone number, of which I did. I typed in the phone number. This wasn't just once, I did this repeatedly, yet failed results, because they kept telling me, oh, this method is not available for use at this time. That's why the fact that they were the ones that suggested the method in the first place. So since that of sending code to phone number didn't work, I tried to see if there was an email alternative. There was no email alternative. There was no other alternative on their website aside that phone number, sending code to phone number. Okay, so, well, that's all I have to rant about. Like I said, it really spoils my day, because in fact, if you see, I even did my chores this morning in a hurry. I was like, when you ought to have done something the previous day and you didn't do it, maybe not because you were lazing around, but because you had to go for service and you had a lot to do. Then something it would be one thing about being a vision driven person. The days you miss your assignment and your schedule, you will feel like, oh, I didn't utilize this day well. That's the thoughts that will linger on your conscience. It will be as though you killed someone when you are an ambitious person. So that was the thought that I woke up with. That, oh, this video that I ought to have dropped last week, to complete the 3 videos I have to drop last week, I'm yet to do it, and this is a new week. So when will I start the job for the new week? So I woke up with that enthusiasm, not knowing that Microsoft designer had other plans for me. So Well, sometimes we just have to accept the things that we cannot control and look for how to manage it until we are able to control it. So I'm trying, thank God for a good support system around me. They've been trying to cheer me. They've been trying to cheer me up. It is that serious. If you've not been in their shoe, you won't know how serious it is. For some of us YouTubers, become it has become our life in a way. It has become a capital project to the extent that it's like you have a boss at work, and when you miss an assignment that you've been given, you know how afraid you will be. That is what YouTube has become to me. I hold myself accountable. It's not like I have a boss that queries me if I post or I do not post, but I have held myself accountable to the extent that if I am playing when I ought to be posting, I feel like I will be queried by an invisible boss. Okay, so like I said, that's life for you. Sometimes things don't go as things don't go as smoothly as we planned them. But will we give up? No, we will not give up. We will not give up. We are not of them that draw back onto perdition. We are not of them that give up, because what will now be the evidence for the labor? The evidence for the labor is the result you will get at the end of the day when you get to the finishing line. So I've decided I won't even try it again this evening. Maybe I will just watch a movie and relax my head. Then tomorrow again, I will continue. If they do not open it for me tomorrow, if I'm not able to get access, I will continue in 2 days' time. If I'm not able to get access, I will continue in 3 days' time until I am able to get access. Well, I tried researching other image generators that I can use. I realized that most of them are not free. For now, I'm looking for a free version because I've not even earned my first paycheck from YouTube, and I've even been spending a lot on data. So if I'm to add the burden of a paid version of image generator, it's a lot. It will be a lot on me financially. So for now, I'm looking for free versions. Even though the free versions, you are using data. Yeah, it takes a lot of data. It takes a lot of data, because sometimes to get an image right for just one scenario, sometimes you have to type in your prompt 3 4 times, because the first attempt will not bring that perfect image you are looking for. Okay, you want a woman that is in a thinking mode, so a woman that is sad. Sometimes the image generated will be the image of a woman with a happy look, and something will tell you, no, 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 no. This appearance doesn't capture the mood that was described in this story. So you type again, you adjust again, you subtract some things, you add some things. So sometimes before you get an image right, you might try your prompt 3 times, 4 times. So it takes a lot of time, effort, and if not for the niche I am in, if it is talking, I am very sure I'll be posting videos every day. But African folktale is not something you can be posting every day, because most times to produce a video you need like 2 days, 3 days. You write the story, you do the voiceover, then generating the images. Sometimes it can take me a whole day. Sometimes you will be in the middle of your work and you will type in your prompt. I will go back to my work. I will check again. Hope this prompt brought in what I wanted. I will go back to my work. Maybe I am writing my lesson notes or marking. I will go back and check again, because most times to do these things, if you don't learn to match your pursuit with your job, you won't always have that free time to carry out your pursuit. So the wisdom one has to learn is the wisdom of managing one's pursuit with one's current job, because before our passion brings in the money, we have to stay alive, and it is the job that is keeping us, that is providing the resources to stay alive. So you have to do that well, and you still have to bring in the devotion that you need to make your passion pay you at the end of the day. So that's just all I have to say this evening. Don't give up. On days when the element and the universe isn't aligning and cooperating with you, it's okay to rest. It's okay to rest. Continue the next day. Do not give up. I hope you, my wish for you is that you have a pleasant and a wonderful night rest. Thank you for joining me on this live session. I love you all. I love you all. I love you all.